Hello, Alan here. So here I have a game where I showcase a perfect defense on Argolia's A point. I'll be using only my Fordobrachial pikes, and no point was lost, making it a complete win on our side. If you look at the end screen, I have almost doubled the unit kill of any other player in a game, and I'm going to explain how things turned into this, and my unit setup. Do note that this game has no golden era units because it was recorded early on in Season 7 on Frontier. So for those who don't know, at the beginning of each season, high tier units are locked for beginners to catch up. So, I'm going to explain my unit setup first, because the beginning phase of the game is a slow process of taking down enemy artillery and siege towers. Nothing really special. This is my Fordobrachial setup. As you can see, it's quite different to some other people who recommend going for a more defensive approach. Instead, I went full damage, including both skill tree and unit doctrines, aiming for max damage output. Why, you might ask? But I'm a longsword hero and my healing ability gives me the unique advantage to heal up after every engagement. So instead of needing to survive multiple attacks, I can focus on doing the maximum damage every engagement. In a way, this is living up to the saying where the best defense is a good offense. And indeed, by having the ability to stun up to 64 units while doing maximum damage in a small area, makes these pikes very strong at killing things, as you shall see. Okay, here we have some action. The enemy serfs pushed a ram to our gates, but before it engaged, an ally opened a door. I'll take the opportunity to take out the serfs and disable the ram. By doing this, the enemy has to bring a new set of serfs to push the ram, but because it's so close to our units, we can delete them until the ram despawns back to the very beginning. If done right, this can give you more than an entire minute of time, but as you will see, people do not know this and may close the door behind you. So what I'm doing right now is trying to check for whether new serfs will get close to the ram by getting in front of the door and being hit by the enemy mortar. I should have noticed that the door was closing when the paladins back then retreated, and I guess the commander of that unit saw someone else trying to close the door. But I did not notice and I was trapped by my allies. Unfortunately. Very unfortunately. And I get myself stuck. But I do get back to the fight after a little while, and I see people advancing through the right door. What I'm going to do now is put my Fordobrachial pikes facing not towards the gate as what other people will do, and try to trick the enemy in thinking of some sort of safety. And I'll be ready to, one tap and quickly change formations. And here, they absolutely get tricked by this, and very unfortunate for them, I just wipe out their unit in an instant. Ah, poor spear sergeants. They know we saw it coming. So I'm gonna bring my units back and make the false perception that my units are moving away. But because they saw my units already there, I doubt that they're gonna come back, so I'm gonna shift my attention to this other gate. So just as I came, the enemy tried to push. I think they were under the misconception that my allied Fordobrachial pikes were not really well prepared for this, but because I was prepared, they came in and basically suicided charge right into my pikes. And because I have these friendly shield walls, I take barely any damage other than the artillery that they put down, taking down one or two of my units. So I'm going to come back because I'm pretty sure they spent their entirety of their units for that push. So coming back here, maybe they're ready for another new charge. This longsword hero definitely knows that I am here. But behind him, there's this short sword hero that doesn't know. But because he came so fast, I had to press V. And now I go back to my unit and then press the F2 key so I can prepare my units into formation and actually deal the stun damage. So this hero, now that his entire unit has dissipated, tries to stand on point, and none of our allies are actually taking care of this. So I bring my unit with me and try to take him out using the XV method, but because of the iron side, that doesn't work very well. Before I knew it, a new unit came in, so I roll back, press F2 to get my units back into position and try stunning the majority of the enemy charge unit. And then I press XV, XV again and again until I wipe most of them out. Now I'm gonna regroup back at the entry gate to see the current situation and plan on my next move. So I see there's people coming up in the right gate, so I'm gonna move my pikes closer and wipe them out. But my ally 2 heroes took them out before I get any chance to actually kill them myself. So I move back to the original position to get ready to spring a new trap. But Iron Cap soldiers, easy prey. I aim my pikes at a perfect direction and they all charge in, and most of them either get stunned or killed outright. I'm gonna move in a little bit more and I see javelin units. I'm gonna move my unit back so they do not have direct line of sight. At this moment I lost half of my unit, which is unfortunate, but half a unit still of 40 Brachio Pikes still can take out an entire enemy unit and stun all of them. So I'm not gonna go back to resupply point just yet. I'm gonna check the left gate. Just some range units. Check the right gate. Thinking that maybe I need a better perspective on both sides, I move back to the point to see both sides. At this point I was thinking about going back to supply point because both sides didn't have that much enemy. But considering that I still do have these 40 Brachio Pikes here and they can still be a force to reckon with, I come back and try healing them up to tip-top shape. And as with all defense phases, the enemy will have a period of forming and regrouping and choosing the next target. And I'm pretty sure the next target would be B because they tried pushing A already. So I'm gonna wait here, gonna slowly heal up my units and wait for the next push. And as you can see, my allies also saw that B is gonna be a potential danger instead of A. So they are taking the unit back and gonna protect B. And I saw this for the Brachio Pike unit come back, and that's when in-game I saw B being a possible new target. So I pinged it for my allies to all notice. But this was actually potentially a mistake, because if you look on the minimap right now, a lot of the enemy are still around A and not actually going to B. And because they just saw the 40 Brachio Pike unit leave A point, I think they want to do another charge. So I get ready to spring a new trap. This is when the Imperial Spear Wall just leaves and I just spring the trap because at this point the enemy will definitely come in because there's only 2 minutes left. So I try my best over here to push the enemy away from my pike units, but inevitably some people will go through, and including that longsword hero. Here I still try to do something, but nope, not enough. I bring my pike unit back to a more defensive position and try to block off these heroes to deal the last few damage that I can. Here is some with valor, I knock this guy down, but nope, I'm against 3 heroes and barely a unit left. And I dodge away. So at this point, instead of going back to supply point and getting a new unit, there's not much time left, so I'd rather stay here on point and protect it. Here our Dual Blade tried to kill me using his ultimate, but unfortunately he can't because I'm a full armor build, and I assumed that he was going full damage and not armor penetration, so he couldn't kill me just then. I hold my shield up, prepare for any incomers, and I couldn't kill him, but at least I have some health and I could take and protect this point. 45 seconds left. There's not much enemies left. And indeed, for that last push, they used up all their energy and now they have nothing left. And there's only 30 seconds left. Not enough to capture the point anymore. So thinking back at it, why did we win and why did the enemy lose? For one, I was there to protect both doors when the enemy tried pushing and took out the majority of their weak units, or the fodder units to try push in, and what later came in were also not enough to actually be a substantial threat. So their biggest failure was having no stalwart units, no paladin units to actually forcibly take out my 40 Brachio units. I'm not sure what happened on B, but maybe if they changed their attention to B they could have won, but instead they came to A because they didn't have enough time left. As a result, this happened. 181 kills, almost doubling every other player in the entire game. I hope you liked the video, and maybe in the comments below you would write down your thoughts on this setup of the 40 Brachio Pikes and whether you're going to use it or not. And while you're at it, push the subscribe button and like if you enjoyed the video. I'm currently in the process of making the longsword guide, and I'm taking my time to consider all the possible setups you can do to make an all-in-one comprehensive guide. This was Alan, and see you in the next video.